Hey guys, my name is Mike, and I'm a former New York City bouncer. And I used to live in the streets. I used to live in the projects in Harlem, and I worked my way out of poverty, worked my way out of working multiple crappy jobs, uh, into going back to school in my late 20s. I finally finished, right, my degree that I started back when I left high school. Studied finance. I did two master's degrees, and I got my dream job at a top consulting firm. And I did strategy consulting for a couple of years, and now I own my own firm and also continue to work in corporate finance. But I've pretty much been able to build the life that I wanted. I was able to envision what I wanted back in the days when I was struggling, when I was sleeping out in the cold and dreaming of someday achieving these things. And it required some mindset work. And I wanted to share that with you because some of you are out there struggling just the way I was. And I'm not done. I'm still working. I'm still growing and trying to build my business and trying to build myself up both mentally and physically. So I want you to join the journey, and I'm sharing my lessons along the way, and also asking for your feedback. So today I wanted to talk about something that I struggled with for a long time, especially when I got my job in a top consulting firm. And it's the concept of uh, having confidence. I struggled for a very long time with confidence. I had my best experience with confidence was back when I attracted my girlfriend and now my wife. And it was a time when I was jacked. I looked great. I had an 8 pack, and this before now was way back. And back then I was very confident, and that kind of energy irradiates off of you, and it attracts people around you. It attracts women around you. I was dating like four different girls at the same time around that time. Not being exclusive with anyone, but it was it. I was incredibly confident, and somewhere along the way, I lost that for a couple of years, and I wasn't sure why. Ultimately, if you're trying to be more confident, confidence is keeping your word to yourself. If you can do that, if you can start with keeping your word to yourself, you will build an incredible amount of confidence very quickly. That I shouldn't say very quickly. It's not. It really isn't quick, but the amount of confidence you can build is massive, especially when you're starting as low as I was, which was way below baseline. So the let's say you're somebody who's trying to quit smoking, right? You've been trying to quit smoking cigarettes, pot, whatever. You're saying, I'm going to stop. I know this is bad for my health. It's expensive. I hate wasting money on it, or I'm hiding it from my spouse. You keep trying to quit, and you can't, right? You try and quit. You throw away half a pack. You say, that's it. That was my last cigarette. I'm never doing it again. A couple days later, you just can't help it. You go buy yourself another pack. You say, I'll just have one or two. Throw that pack away and go back to it. That was something I struggled with for a long time, right? Was trying to quit smoking. And doing that, saying that I'm going to quit smoking, and then lying to yourself and going back to it, that will erode your confidence, and it'll make you feel like the worthless piece of shit that you are. And you're gonna know that when you show up to work and somebody asks you to do some kind of a task, or you have to do something, you're gonna say to yourself, "Man, I'm such a piece of shit. I really shouldn't be doing this." So, to build up your confidence, be able to keep your word to yourself. And if you are trying to quit something difficult like substance, it's better to say that I'm going to try to quit this, and at least you can keep your word to yourself, because you're trying, and you really are. You honestly are. You're trying, you're failing, you're trying, you're failing, but at least you haven't promised yourself that I'm going to do it, that I'm going to quit this. So it's better to at least not lie to yourself and be more honest with yourself and say, I'm going to try to quit. Ultimately, My life improved by vast amounts when I quit all substances. I'm completely drug and alcohol free. That's the best way to do things. Being able to commit to myself that I was going to stop those things, I was going to break out of my addictions, built a massive amount of confidence in me. The other easy way, it's not easy, I should say, it's simple. A simple way to build confidence is you should do exactly what I'm doing in terms of building up your body, maintaining a consistent workout routine. So you don't have to say, I'm going to be up at 4 a.m. like Mike. I'm going to, work out for an hour and then run 10 miles a day the way Mike does. You don't have to do that. But what you should be able to do is at least commit to the way I started. I started 10 minutes a day. That was it. I said, I'm going to go to the gym every day for just 10 minutes. And I would go in there, and for about a month or two, I went in just for 10 minutes. And it was, it kind of sucked after 2 months, because I was like, I want to do more than 10 minutes. But I promised myself only 10 minutes, stayed at 10 minutes, and I also forced myself not to burn myself out. So that by the time, after 2 months of doing 10 minutes a day, I was like chomping at the bit to do 15, 20 minutes and to go up. So I went very quickly from 10 minutes a day. Within 2-3 months, I was doing more than an hour a day at the gym. But the point is that I gain confidence by keeping my word to myself, by having these small wins throughout the days you might have heard. So if you keep your word to yourself, I'm going to brush my teeth every day, that's going to help you build your confidence. I brush my teeth every morning. I take a shower. I have a specific morning routine. Whatever it is that you do, that's super important. So by keeping your word to yourself, you're building this sense of self-trust. You're becoming confident in knowing that you are going to do this thing, that you are capable of doing something consistently, or whatever it is that you're doing. So if like in my case, working out, it was a struggle. It's very difficult to maintain a 4 a.m. wake up and a 4 a.m. workout. But if you can build the trust in yourself to know that you're going to be at the gym every morning at 4 a.m., and that's a pretty badass, difficult thing to do. Something that I thought was completely impossible over a year ago. I didn't think I was capable of doing that kind of shit. 3-4 years ago, when I was in the throes of addiction and drinking and smoking and being like, there was no freaking way I thought I could ever do this. I mean, I used to drink until 4 a.m. in the morning. I'll sleep for a couple of hours, and then I'll go to work. There was no freaking way that I had time anywhere to do any kind of gym work, let alone a 4 a.m. wake up, 4 a.m. workout, 3:45 a.m. wake up. There was no way, because I was going to bed at 3:30, drunk as a skunk. So, now I trust myself to know that I'm going to do this because I'm committed to the 4 a.m. workouts. And then not only do you have that self-trust, but you also have self-respect. You respect yourself. I know that I am confident in and that I trust myself to do these healthy, positive things for my life. I respect myself. I respect my life. I respect my body, but I also respect my being. I respect myself as somebody who is capable of doing, as somebody who is, who I trust myself to know that I'm doing the right thing for me. That I'm trusting myself to respect myself. So that is something that, it wasn't true for many, many, many years, that I did not respect myself. I treated my body like trash, took all kinds of substances, walked around with extra fat and weight on my body, wore clothes that, fit as well as they could. But you look fucking ridiculous to be in your late 20s, to be a fat ass. You look gross. People look at you and say, what the fuck? And the fact that I have a long-term spouse, she stuck with me through thin and fat, but what kind of respect did I have for her if I was coming to bed looking like that, if I was showing up every day to her, presenting myself like that? I clearly had no respect for her, and I definitely had no respect for myself. So, on top of it, doing these, doing this like consistent routine, it builds discipline, and that will also, as you get stronger and better discipline, you will have incredible confidence as well from that, because you can trust yourself to do the right thing for yourself, to be respectful to yourself, and also you can trust that you will have a high level of discipline, so that over time, this discipline you're putting into the gym, into waking up, into doing difficult things throughout the day, it will spill over into other parts of your life, like your business, your job, whatever. So those are important things that I try and focus on and consider when I'm trying to build my confidence, maintain my confidence, grow it stronger, get better. So how do you get started? It's like I said, start with something small. The best thing, the easiest thing to do, it may not be quitting drinking or quitting smoking. That's a difficult thing. But start by working out. Start with a workout routine that you can maintain, that's consistent. You can do every day. Do just 10 minutes. 10 minutes of either going to the gym or buy yourself a pair of dumbbells on Facebook Marketplace for, $20, and sit there and just, commit yourself to doing 10 minutes of curls with the dumbbells, 10 minutes of side raises. There's simple little things you can do to commit yourself to. Commit yourself to a walk, If you haven't been to the gym in years, your ligaments and your muscles and your bones are going to take a while to build up so that you can get strong enough to do higher intensity workouts. You can't just go to the gym and just boom, start sprinting and stuff. You're gonna hurt yourself and injure yourself too much. Especially if you're way overweight, you're just gonna hurt your knees, your ankles, you're not gonna be able to walk, you can cause, some serious damage. So just commit yourself to something very small, 10 minutes a day to the gym. And as you're doing this, as you're working on the 10 minutes, trust me, the drinking, the smoking will wear off, because you're going to be working out with more and more intensity, longer and longer times at the gym. And I'm not saying that a year from now you have to be doing what I'm doing, but you can get there in a year for sure. You can get there sooner, depending on where you are in shape. I was definitely way out of shape, so it took me a lot longer. But the point is that as you become more athletic, you're going to want to smoke less. You definitely want to drink less, right? You say to yourself, man, I just ran 10 miles and I burned 1,000 calories. But if I drink this whole bottle of wine, that's 900 calories right there. Just all sugar, just garbage. And it took me an hour to run, and one bottle of wine will kill my entire point of my workout. That's not cool. So you'll get sick of your own bad habits very, eventually, and they'll fall off if you can't necessarily build that discipline to end it right away. Though for me, that was the best. It was just quitting cold turkey. So start small, 10 minutes a day at the gym. Be consistent. So commit yourself to say, I'm going to do this. Hell, if you don't have to do 7 days a week, okay? Freaking do every other day, once a week, whatever. But just say and keep that promise to yourself. So if you're so undisciplined like I was so undisciplined. I don't think I even did 10 minutes a day when I started. I probably started with just like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I did that for about a week or two, because 10 minutes is nothing. I got a great gym in my building. It was super easy for me to get there. I was able to move to 7 days a week, eventually, right? And over time, I expanded that longer and longer. So start small, be consistent, and, if you need to, get a journal, get an agenda, get something to write things down, or use an app on your phone, use notes or whatever, and just try and you don't have to keep a journal, keep a diary, but I do. I have a journal. I keep this here. I write in it every day. Every morning as I'm working out, I kind of reflect on my thoughts. I reflect on a topic that I want to speak to you guys about, and I try and flesh it out so that I could have some kind of a quality video. So once again, how do you get confident? It's from being consistent, holding your word to yourself. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck. See you in the next one.